Bapak Ibu guru, Bapak Ibu kepala sekolah, dan adik-adik siswa-siswi SMK se-Indonesia. Perkenalkan, nama saya Aceh Budi Wijaya dari International Test Center, dan di samping kanan saya ini ada Mr. Anderson yang akan memberikan materi TOEIC preparation selama 6 sesi ke depan. Jadi sesi TOEIC preparation ini khususnya akan disampaikan bagi para peserta atau siswa-siswi yang lolos seleksi Viera kemarin dan akan diberikan bantuan sertifikasi TOEIC secara cuma-cuma oleh Direktorat Pembinaan SMK. Dan harapan kami mudah-mudahan sesi video conference ini dapat dimaksimalkan sebaik-baiknya agar para peserta siswa-siswi yang akan mengikuti tes TOEIC nanti bisa melakukan persiapan dengan lebih baik dan lebih matang sehingga mendapatkan hasil nilai TOEIC yang lebih baik. Itu harapan dari kami, dan jika ada pertanyaan nanti Bapak Ibu guru atau Bapak Ibu kepala sekolah atau para peserta siswa-siswi yang menyaksikan atau ikut serta dalam video conference ini dapat langsung mengajukan pertanyaannya kepada Pak Anderson di sebelah saya ini. Dan kemudian untuk jadwal terkait video conference ini yang diadakan setiap hari Kamis sampai 6 sesi ke depan, dari mulai jam 9 sampai dengan jam 11 pagi. Apabila nanti ada usulan-usulan yang seperti disampaikan tadi sebelumnya oleh petugas dari Direktorat Pembinaan SMK, bahwa ada beberapa yang keberatan dengan waktunya yang selalu sama setiap hari Kamis. Nanti insya Allah bisa kita bicarakan juga terkait waktu ini. Akan dibuat kesepakatan antara pihak ITC bersama dengan pihak Direktorat Pembinaan SMK. Demikian, dan untuk mempersingkat waktu, kita akan segera mulai sesi video conference TOEIC preparation yang akan dipandu oleh Mr. Anderson as a certified TOEIC teacher from International Test Center. Silakan Pak Anderson.
Yeah, thank you. So to begin with, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Anderson. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Anderson. I'm from ITC. So I've been a certified TOEIC trainer or teacher in this case for quite several years. And today I'm going to introduce you to the updated TOEIC test. Jadi materinya ini akan saya bilingual juga, tapi pada dasarnya yang kita akan pelajari hari ini adalah updated TOEIC test. Jadi perlu dipahami, it needs to be understood that TOEIC test is changed since last year. Jadi ada format yang berubah sejak tahun lalu. Format soal, lalu untuk jumlah soal mungkin tidak, tapi kita perlu familiar dengan format soalnya. Ini baru dipraktikkan sejak tahun lalu, dan tentunya kita perlu, we need to keep updated with the new or the updated TOEIC test. So to begin with, I would like to go with the introduction first of ITC in general. So ITC, or International Test Center, is a institutions that, or organizations that provides the official, I will say the official, yang resmi, okay, the official TOEIC, including TOEFL, IBT, along with some other services. So what I'm focusing on is on the ETS services, which is TOEIC, TOEFL IBT, TOEFL Junior, and Propel. Propel is usually for trainers or teachers. Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to, of course, focus much on TOEIC. Okay. Test of English as an international communications. Yeah. Okay. So of course we need to take a look at the first one. Okay, what is TOEIC, or like the so-called test of English for international communication? So TOEIC is actually an English test which is unlike TOEFL. Okay, it's unlike TOEFL, tidak seperti TOEFL, Okay, because TOEIC is specialized, or TOEIC is specially designed for workers, professionals. Secara gampang kita bisa katakan bahwa TOEIC didesain untuk pekerja. Okay, jadi what's the difference between TOEIC and TOEFL? Maybe Bapak Ibu dan seluruh siswa are more familiar with TOEFL, but remember TOEFL is test of English as a foreign language adalah untuk kepentingan akademik. It's for academic context, which I mean by academic is it is designed for colleges, okay, universities, okay. But TOEIC is specially designed for professionals. Professionals dalam artian maybe if you go to the office, if you go to the what do you call that working world, that's what TOEIC is for. Okay, that's why. Okay, so that's why if we try to see TOEIC, basically TOEIC is mostly common or is commonly used in workplaces. Okay, in workplace, workforce, communication, workplace, and everything. However, please don't worry so much, in the sense that in fact you can also use TOEIC in some schools or even universities. In a sense, some universities are are allowing. Okay, some university are allowing, or some university allow the acceptance of TOEIC scores as their requirements. Oke, jadi tentunya ini tidak menutup, walaupun secara dasar TOEIC digunakan sebagai tes untuk pekerja, professionals, dalam hal ini mungkin bukan pekerja tapi professionals, namun tidak menutup kemungkinan bahwa TOEIC juga digunakan untuk institusi yang lebih besar, seperti institusi pendidikan. Misalnya bagi Anda yang mau S1, S2, ataupun S3, beberapa universitas menerima nilai TOEIC seperti itu. Kita akan lihat selanjutnya. Maka ini sifatnya. Nah, jadi kita akan bicara dulu, pertama adalah berkaitan dengan isi dari TOEIC test itu sendiri. Jadi perlu kita pahami bahwa TOEIC test yang akan kita pelajari adalah listening dan reading. So the TOEIC test that we will learn today is listening and reading. So how about the speaking and writing? There is the TOEIC for speaking and writing with a different format, but the mostly used or prevalent, okay, in this case, the mostly used or the mostly popular TOEIC test is usually the listening and reading in this case. So today we are going to talk about the overview. Okay, later during the upcoming meetings, we're going to focus more on the content itself. Okay, so this is the the idea here. So again, when we talk about TOEIC here, the TOEIC listening and reading, okay, is already used in many countries by many institutions. If you try to take a look in especially Asian countries, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Malaysia, including Indonesia, TOEIC tests are one of the most popular in comparison with, for example, TOEFL ITP or TOEFL IBT. Okay, so TOEIC test becomes one of the most rigorous tests or assessment, especially those that can be used in workplaces. Jadi yang digunakan di tempat kerja adalah TOEIC. Jadi perlu diluruskan, seringkali banyak companies, banyak perusahaan, a lot of companies misunderstand. Mereka salah mengerti, misunderstand the idea that bahwa TOEIC ya udah kalau di tempat kerja, if it's in the workplace, then I need to use TOEFL. That's the misunderstanding that I need to straighten, that I need to actually correct or rectify in this case, bahwa TOEIC sebenarnya adalah tes yang tepat jika kita bicara soal workplaces seperti itu. Oke, lalu bagaimana dengan isinya? Nah, kita bicara secara general dulu sebelum kita bicara questions. Before we talk about questions by questions. Hal pertama adalah yang perlu dipahami berdasarkan based on the backgrounds that I have actually shared before. TOEIC tests are designed for real world workplace scenarios. What do I mean by this? So imagine you are in the office. Imagine you are in the office, you are in the working institutions. What kind of skills or what kind of language are you expected to understand in working situations? For example, simply saying you need to understand how to read email, how to read emails, how to write emails included. But in this case, we focus on how to read emails in this case. So that's our focus first. So how to read emails, let's say, or let's say your superior, your teacher, your what call that boss in this sense, atasan, gives you instruction or explanation in a meeting. The instructions can be related to a particular graph, bar, chart, or it is a simple instruction of office rules. Itu sebuah, sekali lagi, instruksi yang berkaitan dengan regulasi kantor seperti itu. Nah, of course, you need to be able to listen, and as well as that, you need to be able to read the instructions, and some other, of course, some other skills that you need to be able to understand. Ya, oke. Jadi pahami, kalau bayangkan, jadi TOEIC itu bukan seperti TOEFL. Jadi TOEIC betul-betul didesain. Sekali lagi, TOEIC is specially designed for those who would like to actually learn English for working context. Okay, instructions, explanation, emailing, articles, in this case, like article related to workplaces, advertisement or iklan, advertisement in this case. Okay, when we talk about the conversation, it's mostly conversation that are related to working situations between two colleagues. Let's say there are two colleagues discussing about a meeting, there are two colleagues, or three even, discussing about a particular project, something like that. Okay, or there are public talks and announcements. So don't worry, there will be no lectures. Okay, I would say there will be no lectures in TOEIC. Tidak ada dalam TOEIC, di listeningnya itu adalah bentuknya lecture. Lecture itu maksud saya adalah kuliah seperti itu ya, seperti kuliah umum seperti itu, yang sifatnya lebih akademik. Jadi yang perlu dipahami adalah konteks, or the context for TOEIC test is totally particular or specific for working places. Jadi yang ada adalah announcement, misalnya iklan, weather report, news report mungkin, atau for example ada voice call, voicemail di situ. Let's say, or like what we call that voice message. When we talk about on WhatsApp, let's say there is a voice message. Okay, when you send your voice message to your partner or colleague in the company, for sure that's mostly what is in TOEIC. Jadi mohon dipahami bahwa TOEIC dan TOEFL adalah dua hal yang sebenarnya sangat berbeda secara nature. It's totally discrete from each other. Okay, it's totally like different from each other, distinct from each other. TOEFL is for academic, TOEIC is for working places. Dan saya percaya, I believe in, karena dengan vocational high schools or SMK, maka dengan vocational high schools or SMK, which you are expected to directly experience the working world, experience the professional world, that TOEIC is much more relevant in this case. Okay, that's in general first. That's why when we talk about the content and the topic, previously it's more to the content. Jadi the very first thing that I would like to build, the very first understanding that I would like to build is that please understand that TOEIC is for working. That's actually the main thing. The language for TOEIC is specially designed for working. Now, talking about the topics, for sure the topics are not very far from working world. In this case, if you take a look in this, there is like corporate development, finance, budgeting, dining out. What does it mean by dining out? There means like, let's say you are meeting with your clients, or you're meeting with your customers, you're meeting with your users or vendors in this case. Okay, professional meeting, not only like dining out in the sense like you hang out with your friends. No, not as simple as that. Tidak sesederhana apa namanya ngobrol dengan teman seperti itu, and then talking about daily life. No, but it's more to the what do you call that, dining out for professional purposes, something like that. Okay, and some others. Of course, I will not. It's not necessary for me to actually talk about all the what do you call that, topics in this case. But if you notice, all of these topics are mostly related to working situations, something like that. Okay, that's the first one. Okay, so okay, that's later. Okay, later, when after you take the TOEIC test, okay, the listening and reading TOEIC test, and then you will receive a certificate for sure. You will receive a test score report, which is official. Okay, the test scores reports are official. Okay, please understand that the test scores report are official, resmi, and it is applicable for 2 years. So you can use the TOEIC scores for various purposes. And in the TOEIC scores later, you are not only given the scores, tidak hanya angka nilai. Oke, tidak hanya angka nilainya. Misalkan nilai saya 990, for example, and then you will be given. Okay, you will be given a very complete details there. Take a look. This is your scores. Okay, this is your scores. This is your score, 900. This is comprised of two major parts here. Okay, this is comprised of two major parts, which is, we see here, we have the reading and we have the listening. Remember, this 990 is the highest score for sure, and 495 is also the highest score. So this is, we can say this is a prime example like that. Contohnya ideal sekali, walaupun dalam kenyataan mungkin tidak bagus jika dapat 990, but maybe it's too ambitious to reach, to aim for this high. And then ternyata, unlike other tests, okay, unlike other tests, Bapak, Ibu, dan saudara-saudari sekalian, okay, tidak hanya nilainya, not only the scores that will be given, but you will also be given the details or the explanations of your strength and weakness. Jadi kita bisa lihat di bagian bawah. Di bagian bawah ini ada berbagai macam, ada penjelasan bagian manakah dalam listening yang lemah dan yang kuat, bagian manakah dalam reading, okay, which sections in reading, which with which you are strong or weak. Okay, that's the idea. So you need to pay attention. This course is very powerful. This is a sample. But what I would like to show here is that this course are really useful for your future study or future career in this case. Jadi tidak hanya, ternyata sekali lagi yang saya mau tekankan, what I would like to emphasize is that this course is not only like you get the scores and that's it. Mungkin bagi yang pernah, for those who ever take like informal TOEFL, let's say, okay, yang tidak resmi, unofficial TOEFL test, what is given is only the number. Okay, what is given is only the number. Yang diberikan hanya angkanya, seperti itu, hanya angka nilai, the scores, the number, the numerical descriptions. For example, in TOEFL you get like, let's say, 600. But in this case, you will not only be given the numbers, but also the details. So you can take a look. Oh, that means I'm weak at this part. Ini berarti saya lemah di bagian reading, terutama bagian, for example, vocabulary. Okay, so we see a hierarchy there. Okay, oh, I'm good at the listening, but I'm not really good at reading. But which part am I not good at, like that? In which part do I have a problem? And you will pay attention. Oh, I have no problem with the reading, in this case reading email, something like that, but I have problem with the connecting information. We'll see what does it mean by connecting information. And then we also have vocabularies, let's say, or grammars. Okay, so you can take a look, you can see how rich your TOEIC report score will be, something like that. Okay, now before we go further to the content, as I told before, okay, if you notice here, so I mentioned about mostly, if you take a look, I mentioned mostly about the use of TOEIC for workplaces. Tapi sekali lagi, this doesn't actually what I call that, neglect the possibilities, tidak menutup kemungkinan. This doesn't actually neglect the possibilities that TOEIC test can also be used for studies, future studies in this case. So your future studies in this case, either you aim for an undergraduate studies. Undergraduate means S1, graduate studies, which is S2, or even doctoral studies, or S3, something like that. So again, there are a lot of scholarships that accept that what do you call that, accept TOEIC scores as one of the requirements. Okay, the most common one, I'm sure, among students usually are LPDP. Okay, from the government, from the Ministry of Finance in this case. But take a look, there are some other opportunities as well that you can explore, including, for example, Korean government scholarship program for those who are interested in Korean culture. Fujitsu Mitsui Busan, this is for Japanese scholarships, and so on and so forth. So these scholarships accept TOEIC scores. What's the proof? For example, take a look at these. Okay, take a look at, this is from LPDP. Okay, this is from LPDP. Take a look at the requirements. Okay, those who register for, let's say, master's degree, take a look at the acceptance of TOEIC scores. It's various from 630 until 850. Okay, from those masters, either masters of doctoral degree there. Okay, this shows how TOEIC scores, it's not as what I call that, in a sense, difficult as TOEFL, but at the same time, it's still acceptable. So you can see the potential. Okay, you can actually tap in the potential. Okay, so you can actually explore the potential instead of aiming for the other test, which is usually much more demanding and much more costly, something like that. Okay, this is just a quick information for those who are interested. So we see here, okay, this is like there are two waves. Okay, I will not go far with this because this is part of the LPDP, but just like a quick one about the schedule. Take a look at the schedule here. But what I would like to focus on is how LPDP accepts TOEIC scores. Okay, itu yang harus dipahami. Jadi ternyata kelihatannya mungkin it seems like, oh, masa sih TOEIC scores bisa diterima untuk LPDP, let's say. In fact, it is written here. So I hope everyone sees the potentials before you go maybe to TOEFL IBT in this case. And then some big universities that accept TOEIC scores are not limited to Indonesian universities. You see, we have some from Korea, we have some from Japan, we have some from Europe, okay, Universitat of Barcelona and University of Amsterdam, and so on and so forth. I will not go far from this because I'm not representative from the universities, but what I would like to show is, see, okay, it's not always TOEFL, it's not always IELTS, let's say. look at this one. Okay, so I will not go for I will not really delve into the discussions of these TOEIC scores. I mean, this what do you call that? Why do they accept? Why don't they accept TOEFL? Let's say, but pay attention. They accept TOEIC scores. They do accept the others. If you take a look, we have PBT, TOEFL PBT, we have TOEFL IBT, we have IELTS here. They do accept the others. However, okay, please realize that TOEIC is one of the usually most affordable, not really that demanding as the others, but at the same time, it is powerful. So I would like to actually focus on the power, on the usefulness, okay, on the what we call that efficacy of TOEIC tests for your future, something like that. I will not go far from this because this is more like I would like to show how a lot of universities, Fujitsu scholarship program, the one that I showed earlier, okay, they accept TOEIC score 750. Maybe you will ask, Pak Anderson, is it a high score for 750? Later we'll see how high it is. Okay, so that's also the interesting questions. Maybe Bapak Ibu comes up with, oh, what is high in TOEIC scores? Later I will explain that a bit. Okay, and then this is for program 5.000 dokter. Okay, take a look again. Yang saya mau fokuskan adalah this one, TOEIC 625 here. Okay, so take a look, 625. Okay, sekali lagi apakah itu termasuk tinggi? Later we'll discuss. But I would like to show how TOEIC scores are acceptable. Seperti itu. Bahkan baik untuk pekerja maupun untuk university. Oke. Mungkin pertanyaan selanjutnya, apakah semua universitas menerima TOEIC? Saya tidak bisa bilang semua. But many universities do accept TOEIC scores. That's actually what I would like everyone to actually focus on. What I would like everyone to know. Oh, ternyata saya tidak perlu jauh-jauh mahal-mahal. I do not spend much money, for example, on let's say IELTS, yang harganya bisa hingga 3 million misalnya. Okay, that's the idea. Maka dari itu, ingat, TOEIC scores ternyata cukup powerful di berbagai bidang, dan perlu diketahui yang digunakan dalam workplaces or professional world adalah TOEIC, seperti itu. Jadi kita seringkali salah kaprah berpikir bahwa oh ya udah berarti kita tes TOEFL saja buat seleksi karyawan, let's say. Oke, nah itu totally sudah melenceng. Kita lihat, it's actually a totally what we call I would say misleading understanding or misleading notion that oh ya udah tes TOEFL saja, padahal in fact the more suitable one is for the TOEIC test. Okay, ini yang lain-lain, tapi saya tidak akan terlalu banyak tentunya. Okay, this one is some of the scholarships for sure. You can take a capture of the scholarship, but I will not go far from this one. But of course, as a teacher, I will focus more on the TOEIC test content. Okay, in this case, in the TOEIC test content. Okay, so this one. Okay, so TOEIC listening and reading that you will take later is mostly composed of listening and reading. No speaking, no writing. However, there is the TOEIC test for reading, for speaking and writing in a separate way. But today I will, during this workshop, I will not discuss those things. Okay, so don't be surprised. Okay, for those who never take TOEIC test, oh, there are 200 questions. Okay, don't be surprised first. Don't worry. The 200 questions are not that doesn't mean that all the 200 questions are all difficult questions. No. Okay, so these 100 questions for listening and 100 questions for reading with the respective time allocations or administration time. Okay, in total, you will spend around actually uh, two 2.5 hours, but actually it's to be strict, it's actually 2 hours if we only count the tax administrations here. So if you take a look, it's 45 plus 70, it's 120 in total. So we have these numbers. So please understand first, okay? We have two sections, listening and reading. Each section has 100 questions. Ini berlaku baik TOEIC yang lama, this is applicable in the old TOEIC test or in the new TOEIC test. So mereka tetap mempertahankan 200 soal. However, nah ini yang menarik. Okay, this is the interesting one. Okay, for those who ever took TOEIC like maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago or like even 5 years ago, okay, maka therefore you will notice that what you took before was the old TOEIC test. Old TOEIC test consists of still 100 questions. However, okay, nonetheless, the content will be different. Okay. In the old TOEIC test, we see that the number is 10, 30, 30, 30. So later we'll see the questions. But take a look. This is the old one. 10, 30, 30, 30. This is the old one. We have 10 pictures. I'm sure in English for vocational high schools, you are familiar with the pictures, and then there is a the photographs or pictures. Okay, the questions with pictures, and then you need to describe the pictures. Let's say, okay, and then question and response. For example, you have the questions. Let's say there is a person saying something, okay, and then you need to choose the correct response. Later we'll see. And conversation and talks. However, what we need to focus on is not the old one, but the updated one. Okay, the update TOEIC test. You see, we have fewer pictures from 10 to 6, 30 to 25. Oh, Anderson, why is it? Why are there more conversations? Maybe some TOEIC test takers feel like, oh, this is getting more difficult. Don't worry, it's not getting more difficult. I would say not difficult, but demanding. Yes, I believe. But don't worry, we'll actually learn about the tricks later during our workshops in the upcoming several meetings, right? Okay, so this one, okay, please. I would like to focus. What I would like to focus is on this one. Okay, on this one here. Okay, so take a look on this particular part, not this one. Okay, this is the old one. So I give a comparison so everyone understands. Oh, there is a change here. Okay, since last year, the change was made last year. Okay, in this if talking about the history, this actually went back to 2015, 2016 in other countries which use TOEIC, and then the development now in Indonesia, we started implementing the updated TOEIC test since last year. Okay, so that's the concept. That's reading, and that's listening. How about the reading? So if you take a look at the reading questions, there is also a change. Incomplete sentences, this is like grammar or vocabulary. From 40, we only have 30. And text completion, there is an additional. Okay, later we'll see the text completion. From 12 to 16. And from reading comprehensions, reading is like, yeah, you read emails and then you answer questions, you read advertisement and you answer questions. Saya yakin kalau di sekolah, at schools, you are familiar with this kind of questions. There is like a text and then you answer several questions. Okay, from 48 to 54. Tapi yang perlu saya tekankan adalah yang di bawah. Oke, saya mau tekankan adalah yang di bawah. Take a look. So, it's not only talking about the reading comprehension, but later in the reading comprehension, you will have some items. Single passage, jadi ketika passage-nya cuma satu, itu sekitar 29 items, and then double passage, where you have like two texts with several questions. This is the challenge, everyone. In the old TOEIC test, di versi yang lama, hanya ada single passage and double passage. Perlu dipahami. Di TOEIC yang lama hanya ada single passage and double passage. Namun, in the updated TOEIC test, you will have what we call triple passage. Okay, don't be afraid of triple passages. Basically, later, if you notice the strategies are still the same with the usual double passage. Okay, so later we'll see the sample of the question, but the idea is there is a change. Okay, either both for the listening and reading questions. Okay, ya. Jadi saya harapkan bagi yang sebelumnya pernah mengambil TOEIC dan TOEIC-nya isinya adalah yang old, jadi yang formatnya adalah 10, 30, 30, 30, maka perlu dipahami bahwa sekarang now, okay, we have tried to actually change, okay, ETS, okay, ETS, which is the what I call that, the provider, okay, ETS, which is the provider of the official provider of the TOEIC test, the maker, the constructor, okay, decided that we started using updated TOEIC test. Okay, so that's about the test content. Nanti kita akan lihat per item tentunya. Tapi yang saya mau tekankan, what I would like to emphasize here is on the on the changes. There is the change from the old TOEIC to updated TOEIC. Jadi perlu dipahami. Dan mungkin bagi Bapak Ibu guru, for teachers especially, okay, when you want to adopt questions, when you want to adopt the questions, mengadopsi pertanyaan yang di dalam TOEIC, mungkin bisa dimulai untuk mengadopsi dari soal TOEIC yang updated, yang baru, okay, the one that is brand new, so that we can still get updated with the with the TOEIC test here, okay. So I think so far it's very clear about the content of the test. Okay, we're going to continue. Okay, we're going to continue with the scores. Okay, I told you that before that I will not go far from this, but the TOEIC scores later based on the questions. Okay, 100 and 100. The scoring is separated for the listening and the reading. Okay, but for both we have the same score range. We have 5 to 495, 5 to 495, and your final score will be combined, will be aggregated from both. Let's say I got 300 in the listening, 300 in the reading. That means my TOEIC score is 600. Then, if you remember, what is acceptable scores, everyone? So I will not go far from that first, but because that's for later. But I think that 990 is the highest score. So usually, okay, if you are in the pre-intermediate, usually the acceptable score is, the lowest score is this. This is a very low score. Okay, this is quite low. Pre-intermediate, which is like very low scores. Working world or working places usually accepts TOEIC scores, or like scholarship usually accepts TOEIC scores of 600 above. Normally, the acceptable score is usually 750. Okay, so I hope this gives quite an idea about like the TOEIC scores in general. Jadi tentunya perlu dipahami bahwa oh saya di mana, posisi saya di mana, seperti itu. Maka acceptable scores biasanya around 600 plus. Namun yang biasanya aman, the safest one is when you already get 750. Saya tidak akan berlama-lama untuk scoring. Namun sekali lagi, yes, betul bahwa 750 bisa didapatkan, can be actually obtained from the two sections. For example, you got 400 here, and then you got 350 here. That's fine. It's still 750. Okay, but again, be careful. We want to see the balance as well. Okay, we want to see the balance. Don't, if let's say you get 450 here, but you only get 250, let's say. Okay, this is quite that means your weakness, you know your weakness, let's see. Okay, so that's why what I would like to show here is that TOEIC scores can also be used to assess, to see your own weakness, your own strength and weakness. Kelemahannya di mana sih? Kekurangannya di mana sih? Dan sebagainya. Okay, so this is like the TOEIC score range. Okay, so again, again based on the test content. Okay, jadi kalau boleh saya ulang, if I may repeat the things, remember 200 question, 100 with the respective time. The 100 question for the listening, take the updated ones. Okay, we have photographs, we have question response, and so on and so forth. And then we have the reading, also 100, but with some changes as well. The incomplete sentences, usually this deals with your grammar and vocabularies. From 40 to 30 in this case, and then text completions from 12 to 16, and reading comprehension from 48 to 54. Okay, so there is a change, and of course the scores. All of this, okay, if you want to see the samples, okay, you can directly go to this one. Okay, you can directly go to this source. Okay, you can directly go to this particular source. Okay, you will have, this is all what call it, the publications that are given. Okay, that for free. Okay, for free to give you an understanding, a general understanding about the content of the TOEIC test. Okay, especially the examining handbook actually, and the sample test. Yeah. This is usually for students. For the can-do guide, okay, or score descriptors are usually for mostly teachers, because you want to actually, let's say you want to design curriculums, you want to design syllabus. Okay, when you want to design syllabus, of course you can use the can-do guide. Yeah. But what I would like to show here is the patterns. Okay, the patterns of the TOEIC test here. Okay, I think let's go with the what do you call it? That's for the introductions. Quite a long introduction for sure, but I think it's quite clear. Okay, it's quite crystal clear. In this case, it's crystal clear about what you are expected to do in the TOEIC test. Okay, so please understand the nature first. Okay, the very first thing. Okay, understand the nature of TOEIC test. Pahami apa itu TOEIC test dalam artian untuk apa kebutuhannya. Tadi saya katakan the TOEIC test is designed for working, not for usually academic purposes. However, tidak menutup kemungkinan bahwa TOEIC test juga digunakan untuk universities, Asian universities, kalau we see Japan and Korea. Oke, tapi juga ada di beberapa di negara. Oke, hal kedua adalah berkaitan dengan kesempatan yang bisa didapat, chances that you can receive, that you can get by obtaining TOEIC scores. That's one. And then of course the topic of TOEIC score itself. Okay, the TOEIC test, okay, mostly working world, with office companies. Lalu juga test content. Okay, test kontennya tadi yang saya sudah jelaskan. Nah, mungkin tidak perlu berlama-lama, saya akan menjelaskan satu persatu. Oke, Jadi bagi Bapak Ibu boleh diikuti, oke, boleh diikuti di layar, oke, boleh. You can follow the screen. Okay, I will go with this one first. Okay, I will talk about these actually. Okay, so I will talk about these two. Okay, so we have photographs, question response, conversation talks. We have incomplete sentence, text completion, and reading comprehension. So I will try to give a sample one by one because this is like a what call that video conference. So I will not try to wait, but I will try to give you chances to experience. Okay, to try to answer the questions. Okay, so let's go with the first one. Of course, yang pertama, the very first one is photograph. So what do we need to do here? In the photograph questions, Bapak Ibu dan para siswa, you are expected to be able to describe the pictures. Kata kuncinya ada di kata describe sebenarnya. Okay, you need to be able to describe the pictures. You will be given 4 items, A, B, C, D. Okay, you will be given 4 items, A, B, C, D. Nanti pilihannya ada A, B, C, D. In your test paper di kertas ujiannya hanya ada gambar ini. And then you are expected to be able to choose the right statement or description. Maka kata kuncinya photograph itu sebenarnya adalah describe. This is the keyword, everyone. Oke, boleh kita coba bersama-sama dan sambil diikuti saja seperti itu. Oke, please try to follow and try to answer the question as well.
You will hear more statements about question in this part. You will hear more statements about a picture in your test book. You must select the one
Ini belum ada ya? Siapa ini? Saya kedua itu, Pak. Kita lihat dulu ya.
Direction. For each question in this part, you will hear 4 statements about a picture in your test book. When you hear the statements, you must select the one statement that best fits. Direction. You will hear 4 statements about
recordingnya Pak Adi bantu. Oh, kalau di handphone karena ini kan integrated dengan
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Bunda masih di live ini. Kan ada di mana? Di mana? Oh.
Going to, I hope everyone can listen. Okay, everyone can listen to the recording here. Okay, everyone can listen to the recording. So that, sorry for the technicalities a bit. So I will play the recording. I hope everyone, if it's not, what do you call it? If it's not, if you can listen to the recording, please kindly inform in the chat for sure. But I'll play again. Okay, so basically there is a picture and then there is the statement. So for example, let's try to listen first. Okay, so what do you call it? If you notice, I will not go with the questions a lot, but this is about the technicalities. Later, we will talk about this for sure. But what I would like to show is the pictures consist of 4 items, and later you need to be able to choose the right items, everyone. Okay, you need to be able to choose the right item there. Okay, so the right, what do you call that? The right answer to describe the pictures. Okay, that's for the photograph. So again, photographs is that way. Part 2, directions. But the best response to the question. Kalau bisa pakai laptop itu Pak. Saya tadi pause. Okay, so while waiting for the tools, of course, we will try to see again. I think I'm interested to go with the workshop. Session 1 ya.
Bang ternyata tuh ya, kok nggak mau ada namanya boleh ya, nggak bisa nggak bisa.
Mungkin kalau meeting di depan Part 1.
Saya akan bawa speakernya juga. Terima kasih banyak. Ya. Pakai mouse aja ya bawahnya.
Okay, so I assume. So hello again. So I'm going to continue. Okay, the technicality is solved. Okay, the technicality is solved. So I'm going to now go with the second sections. Okay, second sections. With this one. Okay, for the first one, I think it's quite clear. So I don't need to really go too far. But let's go to the second section. So in second sections, it is question response. What do I mean by question response? Based on the names, you will listen to a questions. Not only questions, sometimes it can also be statement. There are two people talking. Okay. So if I may give like some 10 here, there are A here, and then there are B. And then you will be given the A. The A will speak, and then you have to decide what is the most appropriate answer. Let's actually try a bit. Okay, I'll play the recording here.
Part 2. Directions. You will hear a question or statement and 3 responses spoken in English. They will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only one time. Select the best response to the question or statement and mark the letter A, B, or C on your answer sheet. Number 11. Who took my umbrella? A. I'll read it later. B. The blue one. C. I did by mistake.
Okay.
Number 12.
So I would like to just talk about the statement before. So if you listen to the first statement, who took my umbrella? Okay, who took my umbrella? And then when you go on to the second person, there are A, B, C. Only A, B, C. In the pictures, you will have A, B, C, D. Only in the section 2, please understand that we only have 3 choices. Okay, A, B, C. So if you take a look, the question is, who took my umbrella? And if you notice, okay, the question who is asking for a person. Okay, is asking for a person, is asking for the doer of the actions. Mencari pelaku dari actions yang ditanyakan, yaitu mengambil payung seperti itu. So, be careful. The second one might be a bit like distracting when he says the blue one. Ketika disebutkan the blue one, mungkin itu agak sedikit it's inappropriate to say the blue one, right? So karena pertanyaannya who bukan which umbrella did you take. That's why the answer is C in this case. So I will not talk about the strategies first, but take a look. Please understand the patterns of the questions, everyone. Please understand the patterns of the questions that are shown here, something like that. Okay, that's part 2. Okay, that's part 2. So we have questions, and then we have the 3 responses. You need to select which responses is the best, something like that. Okay. By the way, maybe we can play a bit the first one again.
Part 1.
Because
For statements, you must select the one picture. Then find the number of the question on your answer sheet and mark your answer. The statements will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only one time. Number 1. Look at the picture marked number 1 in your test book. A.
He's lighting a fire.
B.
He's riding a bicycle.
C.
He's working with a wheel.
D.
He's getting into a car.
Okay.
Part 1.
Yeah. Again, when we talk about the idea of the pictures, you will have these one picture, and then we have the 4 statements. That's what I would like to show everyone. Okay, so that's the idea of part 1 and part 2. Remember, this is only 6. This is 25. That's what I would like to show first. So it used to, if you want to know, in the very old TOEIC in the 1990s, this one is 20. Okay, 20, and then it becomes 10, and it becomes 6. So right now we have lesser pictures. We have fewer pictures to answer in this case. Okay, we can move on. Okay, to the next one. The next one is, this is part 3. Okay, conversations. Okay, we will not talk about the answers together, but what I would like to talk about is the pattern. So this is dialogues, conversations, again dialogues. With each dialogue, you will be given 3 questions. Don't worry, the questions are already printed in the textbook, unlike TOEFL. Okay, if you haven't took TOEFL, but the questions are written in the text, question and answers. Okay, the question and options are written in the text. So don't worry about, let's say, oh, how can I answer if I do not know the questions, let's say. That might be the question, right? Okay, don't worry, you will be given the questions. So if I may play a bit, okay, take a look at number 41 to 43. I will not try to go into the strategies a lot, but the very first thing that you need to know is you need to read first the conversation. So you need to read first the questions. Okay, when conversations, where what the speaker's waiting, and then woman suggests something like that. So again, before each question, please try to read the question first. Okay, so skim, that's what we call, actually, in terms of language skills, that's what we call skimming. But simply saying, skimming is like reading quickly the questions and knowing the important words there. Okay, but I will not go far from that. We'll play again a bit with this one.
Part 3. Directions. You will hear some conversations between 2 people. You will be asked to answer 3 questions about what the speakers say in each conversation. Select the best response to each question and mark the letter A, B, C, or D on your answer sheet. The conversations will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only one time. Questions 41 through 43 refer to the following conversation.
I was wondering if we received the contract from Ms. Park. She said last night that she'd fax it here today.
It hasn't arrived yet. Perhaps we should call her if we don't get it by lunchtime.
Well, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning and she's very reliable. The Seoul office is running so much better since she became the manager.
Number 41. When does the conversation take place? Number 42. What are the speakers waiting for? Number 43. What does the woman suggest?
So take a look at the concept here. What I would like to show is, actually, if you see the answer, this will be in the morning. Okay, if I may give the answers directly, that try to experience first, right? So the answer is, when does the conversations take place? Okay, this one is in the morning, and then you have contract. Okay, and then the last one is, if you remember, there is like we should call, and then the making a phone call. But I will not go far from that. What I would like to show is the experience first. Okay, I will not go with the answer, but I would like to go with the experience here, that you will listen to a quite long conversation, and don't worry. In fact, what you can do is you can try to answer the questions while listening. Okay, so don't wait. Jangan menunggu until questionnya selesai. Okay? Don't wait until the conversation ends. No, you can answer the questions while listening, sambil while listening. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, this is conversations. Okay, I would like to have everyone's attention about this one, conversation. So there will be around, remember, there will be around 39 here. Okay, quite a lot, with some variations, of course. Okay, and then let's move on to the fourth part. Okay, so we have conversations, and then of course conversation is what we call two-way talk. Okay, so there is that, I always call it like, there is this ping pong of information. So this is like you're playing ping pong. Yeah, you're playing what do you call that, table tennis. Okay, you're playing table tennis. There is like this ping pong from one person to another, from the woman and the man, and then the woman again. But with talks, it's mostly, again, monologues. So it's what we call a one-way conversation. So please understand the idea. So you will not listen to a second person. So there is one person, that only one person talks about something, explains about something. Again, I would like to just share a bit the content. Again, some of the content. So in the talks, you can have like announcement, advertisement. Okay, ada pengumuman. That's it. Announcement, advertisement, news report, instructions, voicemail. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the idea that I would like to show concerning the talks. Okay, so in this case, if you take a look, who is the most, from the questions, who is the speaker most likely calling? Okay, who calls? What is problem report? What does the speaker when does the speaker request a response? Take a look at the way I do the questions. Is that again the same with before? What I try to do is I try to find first the, again, the keywords here. Later, I think next week we're going to start talking about the strategies in this case. However, what I would like to show here is the idea that, oh, okay, so I need to understand first. Don't wait before the questions, before the questions, or before the monologue starts, or before the talk starts. You already understood the questions first. Okay, speaker report, and let's say this one is problem report. Who speaker calls? When does the speaker request a response? Of course, everyone agrees. And this is I would like to show. Based on, before we even listen to dialogue, you know that this is a phone call, either a voicemail or a phone call. But again, it's one way, so maybe it's a voicemail. Okay, so let's listen a bit about what happened in the dialogue here.
Part 4. Directions. You will hear some talks given by a single speaker. You will be asked to answer 3 questions about what the speaker says in each talk. Select the best response to each question and mark the letter A, B, C, or D on your answer sheet. The talks will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only one time. Questions 71 through 73 refer to the following telephone message.
Hi, Paul. This is Christine Roberts. I'm concerned that the oil pan in my car is leaking, so I wanted to see if you could take a look at it this afternoon. For the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing that my oil tends to run low, and I'm finding a bit of oil underneath the car in my garage. I hope you'll be able to get back to me soon, as I'll have to leave in 2 hours. If you think you could fit me into your schedule today, I could drop the car off on my way to work, and you can just give me a call to let me know how much it will cost for you to fix it. My number is 555-1058. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Number 71. Who is the speaker most likely calling? Number 72. What problem is the speaker reporting? Number 73. When does the speaker request a response?
So that's actually, see, the answer will be, this talking about cars, so it's a mechanic. And then the problem is there is an oil leak, okay? And it's, she said today, right? That means if today, logically, that means, oh, the response should be that day. That means not more than one day. It's within a few hours. So I will not talk about the strategies, but again the experience first. Okay. So I would like to focus on the experience of having the fourth target. Take a look. Maybe you're wondering. So far, Mr. Anderson, like, where is the new thing? Where are the new things? I guess these are all the same with the previous one. Maybe you're maybe in your, what do you call that now? You're processing, you're analyzing when you're analyzing the questions. This is all the same. Now I would like to talk a bit about the new thing a bit. This one. I will not really play every single thing due to the time limitation, but I would like to show what I would like to show is like this, everyone. So if you take a look at this one, okay, at this one, we'll listen first and try to see the difference. Okay, we'll try to listen first and try to see the difference with number 56 to 58. You will notice the difference later.
Questions 56 through 58 refer to the following conversation with 3 speakers.
To start today's meeting, I'd like to talk about the recent drop in sales for our vitamins. Does anyone have any ideas?
You know, what we really should do is start advertising on social media websites. That would increase our client base and give Nectar Vitamins a more modern image. Bob, didn't you create ads for social media at your last job?
Yes, I did. I was responsible for promoting all of the products online.
That's great. Well, Bob, would you be willing to present some tips on online advertising at our next team meeting?
Sure, I can do that.
Number 56. What problem does the company have?
So take a look at the patterns of the questions, everyone. What I would like to show here is the idea of, now there is not only two people in the conversation. Okay, in the updated TOEIC test, you will sometimes have 3 people. Okay, you will have sometimes 3 people. Notice that there is the first man, there is the second woman, the first woman in this case, and there is Bob, which is the second man actually. So take a look, be careful with this. Okay, so you will have 3 people in the conversation, and then of course talking about the answers. If you see, there is again in TOEIC later we'll talk about this for next week during the upcoming meetings. But notice there is he said drop, which is sales have gone down, and then we have the social media, which is related to online. Take a look. What I would like to show here is how in TOEIC every single answer is usually found in the form of synonyms. Jadi jawaban di dalam TOEIC, okay, the answers in TOEIC are usually found in the form of synonym. Jadi sekali lagi harus dipahami. Okay, synonym is very important. So you will notice that TOEIC scores is usually TOEIC tests usually test also your synonyms. Di sini he shares about information at the next team meeting later, something like that. Okay, that's only the question. So that's the first new thing, everyone. Okay, the first new thing that is usually that you need to pay attention to. The second new thing is integrative listening. Oh, what do you mean by integrative? I'm sure everyone knows the idea of integrative is that what is integrative means you integrate, you combine two things or more. Okay, that means you need to combine your skills of reading, simple reading in this case, with your listening. Take a look at this one. So in your question paper, you will have these. Okay, you will have this thing, a kind of table. It's not only table. Later we will have graph. You have chart, pie chart, bar chart, maps, and so on and so forth. Jadi tidak hanya table, kadang juga bisa memo, selalu ada pie chart, grafik lingkaran, grafik batang, dan sebagainya. Okay, and in this case, if you notice in numbers 97, take a look at the graphic. What will the speaker most likely discuss next? Nah, ini menarik. So, take a look. Actually, it's related to something here. However, that means you integrate skills here. You need to be able to read, and you also need to be able to listen. Let's try. Let's experience first what happened in this kind of question.
Questions 95 through 97 refer to the following excerpt from a meeting and chart.
Before we talk about our sales results from this year, let me say how pleased I am with the success that Susie's online clothing boutique has been having. When I started the business last year, I was not sure how well it would do, but the results show that we've exceeded our goal. Of course, there's always room for improvement. We know our biggest rival is Fashion Plus. This chart compares features of the two companies. If we want to be competitive, we'll have to offer all the same services. So let's talk about what we can add to our services so that we can keep up with Fashion Plus.
Number 95. What is the main topic of the meeting? Number 96. Who most likely is the speaker? Number 97. Look at the graphic. What will the speaker most likely discuss next?
Interesting. So if you notice the experience now, it's quite difficult with number 97, but I'm sure everyone gets the idea with this number. Okay, if you take a look, he talks about the results of the sales. In this case, the Susie's boutique. Okay, and then who is selected the speakers? Of course, it's the owner. Okay, it's the owner here. Okay, business owner, which means the owner of Susie's boutique in this case. And then the next one is this is interesting. If you take a look, you cannot directly actually answer the questions, but notice that. Okay, notice that. Notice that in the question, notice that he tries to. Sorry. Okay. Notice that he tries to say that, oh, our rival is Fashion Plus, right? Our rival is Fashion Plus. So in this case, what you need to have, and then she said something like, oh, we need to put something that Fashion Plus has, but we don't. Kita harus cari sesuatu yang Fashion Plus have, but we don't, and we need to add that. Nah, menarik. Maka, if you take a look in the text part here, what is not existent in the SUSIS text is the phrase shaping. That's why the answer for number 97 is B. Okay, because they need to talk about the next strategies, which is, okay, to compete with fashion class, you need to add this. Okay, that's what I mean by integrative. It's quite difficult task. It's quite a difficult task. It's quite a, what do you call that, new task, I believe. But these kind of thing exists in the updated TOEIC test. So please be careful. Okay, that's for the listening. Okay, and that's for the listening, everyone. So I think it's very clear. It's very, what we call it, succinct in this case about the old things. Okay, the same old things, and of course the new things in this case. Okay, the new thing is usually this one: 3-person dialogues. The questions are the same. I mean, the questions are still like in the same form. But what I would like to show is the dialogues consist of 3 people. So don't be surprised if something suddenly you realize that, oh, okay, this is 3 people. How come? Okay, don't worry like that. The second one is usually the demanding one. What I mean by demanding is it's quite difficult to actually read and listen at the same time. But again, we'll talk about the strategies later during the upcoming meeting. So take a look at this. This is the integrative listening. Quite not that simple, I believe, but it's still manageable, I believe. That's the idea. Okay, this is for the listening, everyone. Okay, so we'll go on with the reading because later we will have the question and answer sessions. With the reading, I think this kind of questions is quite common. Okay, just a simple fill in the gaps, but remember, this is only now 30 questions. Okay, this is 30 questions. So we have this. We have around 30 questions here. Okay. Previously we have 40. We had 40, but now we only have 30. But the things that I would like to show here is the idea that doing this kind of thing, your mindset is, there are 2 mindsets. This kind of thing will test basically your grammar and your vocabulary. Okay, so this incomplete sentences basically test you on this grammar and vocabulary. When you think of grammar, don't only think of like let's say tenses, let's say present simple, blah blah blah, and so on. No, but grammar in this case is maybe the sentence structure. Maybe, oh, we need to know whether this is a noun, an adjective, a verb, apakah ini kata benda, kerja, dan sifat, and so on and so forth. And of course, you also need to be able to understand about the vocabularies in this case. Okay, I'm sure it's quite clear. I don't need to go far with this, but this kind of thing. In this case, if you know this, okay, this is what we call that usually as vocabulary and grammar. This is vocabulary plus the grammar a bit actually. Happy, right? It means like happy by the audience, positive reaction, and this is like passive form. Okay, because you have the word by there. This is like passive sentence. Okay, there is a passive structure there. Remember, passive structure is always characterized by past participle, or I'm sure everyone is familiar with verb 3. Okay, that's why it's delighted. Yeah. Okay, that's the idea of part 5. I'm sure this is not. There is no. There are not many things to talk about here. Okay. The next thing is text completion. The same, everyone. Okay, we have around 16 here, and you will just need to actually put the right answer in here. Okay, the right answer in here. Okay, talking about the answer, you can try to read. You can try to follow your own pace. But what I would like to show here is that the difference between the previous one and this one. For this one, it's not only one sentence that you need to pay attention to, but it is basically the context. So why is text completion important? Because we will talk about how you put everything in in context, everyone. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, this is like the idea. So how you try to put the right structure or right vocabulary in the context. So that's why doing this kind of thing, usually my suggestion is always start from the beginning. I mean, don't directly go here, but you go with the, you try to read, just like you read the text, okay? Okay, just like the way you read the text. So don't try to directly jump into the questions here, because it's contextual, okay? So I will not talk much about that, but the difference why it's here, what's the difference with the previous one then? Okay, the sentence completion. The context is much more, it's much larger, it's much richer. So you need to pay attention to the, again, to the context here. Then, interestingly, in the updated TOEIC test, there is a bit of change of questions. Take a look at, this is the answer. If you already tried to answer the questions, I will not go with the answer a lot. Okay, so it's more like, I would like to, again, for today, I would like to just give you like an overview of the content of the TOEIC test. So we are already in our reading journey. But interestingly, take a look at this one. Now, this is actually quite a bit difficult in this case. Okay, so in the text completion, you don't only insert words or phrases. Okay, jadi pertanyaannya ternyata tidak hanya mengisi kata atau frasa seperti itu. The new type of question is that you need to be able to insert sentences. Just like this. If you notice in number 141, you need to be able to insert the right sentences into the right context. This is quite difficult, I would say, because, okay, you cannot only see the grammar, but again, that's why I mentioned the idea of context. See, okay, the idea of context in text completions. Okay, in this kind of what they call the questions, you need to be very good at reading the previous and the next sentences, so to get the context. For example, let's say we see the question. We'll try together, everyone. Okay, today approve an agreement. Okay, we expect the project to create 700 permanent full-time jobs. He said, I'm glad it was finally approved after so many postponements. Expect the project will take 5 years to complete. Yet, blah blah blah. While the city is at delays are typical. Okay, nearby tenants have rates. Of course, this is not related, right? This is still related, maybe, because major work to get underway means like this project. Okay, that's work, right? And that's the idea. But not construction noise, of course, no. Despite the official to grant the company long-term agreement, okay, is this talking about agreement? Okay, that's we'll vote on 3 different proposals. This is no. So the possibilities between A or C. But take a look. While the city is anxious for work to get underway, delays are typical for major commercial endeavors such as this. Okay, take a look. And compared to C, despite city official promises to grant the company a long-term agreement, they now may have to reconsider. Of course, it's already approved. Why do they have to reconsider? That's the question, right? That's why this one, delays are typical for major commercial endeavors and investment projects such as this. This refers to the project. Yeah. Okay. This is what I mean. That's what the answer is. If you notice, the answer is actually A. Okay. This is what I would like to show related to the contextual understanding, everyone. Okay, contextual understanding. So we okay, I'm sure it's quite clear so far. Okay, about the new thing. Okay, so of course, during the upcoming meetings, we'll talk about the strategies, about what we have to do when we do this kind of questions. That's the idea. That's the general idea. Okay. And then the next one. Okay. To make sure we have time to for the question and answer. Okay. I'm sure so far this one. So far I think it's quite clear. But okay. So I think I know what's new and I know what's old. Something like that. So for those who already took the TOEIC test, try to relate to that. Okay. So this is the I want to call that the difficult thing about what call that the new thing, not the difficult. Yes, the new thing about the TOEIC test in this case. Okay, we're going to continue. For this one, I'm sure everyone is familiar with this. So the last part before we go to the question and answer sessions is the reading comprehensions. Okay, as I told before, if you remember, we have three kind of passages: single passage, double passage, and triple passages. So there is ada yang satu teks, ada yang dua teks, ada yang tiga teks seperti itu. For this one, we talk first about the single passage. Okay, we talk first about the single passage. Teksnya hanya satu. Okay, talking about the content of the passage, maka it's related to my background, the background that I told in the beginning, that when you talk about the idea of TOEIC questions, the reading text is usually something related to workplaces. Jadi don't worry, you will not find texts that are too difficult like the things that you found in TOEFL. Academic text about geography, let's say. Academic text about biology. In TOEIC test, there is no such things. Because in TOEIC test, usually what you will have is, again, if I may mention some, email, and then you have advertisement, you have articles, in this case, articles related to work, you have announcement, written announcement in this case, and you have, for example, let's say, a brochure, website page, something, all of those things, regulations maybe, warranty cards, again, kartu garansi like that. Okay? All of those things are related to working world. That's what I would like to show. So again, please understand the idea of the TOEIC test. For example, we do this. What is being advertised? Okay. So later, actually, I would like to talk about this in the maybe in the fourth or fifth meeting. Okay, not today, but just a quick one. Okay, when you do this kind of questions, of course, you don't need to read every single thing, but you need to pay attention to what we call always keyword and synonyms. Okay, this is like talking about the main idea. If you take a look, we can actually just read the title, create your own space, and then do you dream of having a space away where you can create things and relax? That means they're what do you call that? Promoting space, like what do you call that? Empty space for you, ruangan in this case. Of course, it's not design, it's not job placement, apalagi, or let alone vacations. Okay, you see there is a synonym, right? Okay, synonym for space. Okay, this is what I would like to show later. Okay, during the upcoming meeting. So again, the idea of what we call that reading is you don't need to read all to answer only one question. No, it's not necessary. The key is first keywords and synonyms. That's the very first thing that I can actually share first before we go further. Okay, that's the idea. And then number 154, what is offered for free? Again, the idea is keyword and synonym, right? The keyword is, of course, free. Keyword is the important word. Okay, next, during the upcoming meetings, I would like to share a bit about the strategies of the keywords and then finding the keywords and so on. But let's say free, let's say, and then we'll try to find free as the keyword, or like without paying. If you notice, you directly, I don't need to read all of this. I know that offered for free oh, there is this free, and then there is also this one, free. Take a look, be careful. Okay, what is offered for free? Equipment, samples, consultation, architectural plan. Our free brochure, first one is brochure, but there is no brochure here. Okay, but the second one, free consultation. That's it, done. Then the answer is C. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, that's the what do you call that? The answer. Okay, of like what do you call that? The questions that I would like to show here. Okay, that's the general idea. The next thing, I would like to go with the double passage, everyone. I would like to go with the double passage. Okay, double passage. I will not do the double passage here, but I would like to show here. Double passage. In double passage, you are expected to be able. Okay, you are expected to be able to read from 2 texts and answer 5 questions. We will not do the text, but this is like the common questions, let's say. Okay, what do you call that? The idea of what, for example, the reading comprehensions, the double passage. Okay, so I will not do this one. Okay, and yes, the new thing is this one. Okay, the new thing is this one. So this one is the usually the difficult one. You have, if you notice, you have 1, you have 2, and then you have 3 texts. Okay, so later in the TOEIC test, you will have 3 major texts. Okay, you have 3 major texts that you need to be able to read, and you will have 5 questions. So take a look. Double passage, 2 texts, 5 questions. Triple passage, 3 texts, but also 5 questions. How many are there? Again, for the single passage, for this one, you will have 29 single passage. For the double passage, you will have around 10, only 10. And for the triple passage, you will have around 15. Yeah. Okay, that's the idea what I would like to show for the reading question. So yes, I think in general I would like to close my sessions. I would like to close my session with what you call by saying that the very first thing that you need to be able to know is the background of the TOEIC scores, the TOEIC test itself. Okay, so understand the function of the TOEIC test. Use the TOEIC test for the right purposes, especially when you want to actually have your CV boosted. Okay, you want to show that your English in working situation is good. TOEIC is actually the best choice. Okay, and then please understand there is a change. There is a change of the TOEIC test from the old one to the new one. Okay, as I show here. Okay, so there is a change in there, both in the listening section and the reading section, and I already showed some of the samples here. Okay, so take a look at the new thing, especially the new thing. The listening one, the new thing is usually this: 3 people, integrative listening, and in the reading, usually the new one is the text sentence insertion. Okay, when you need to insert the sentences in the right context, the keyword is C, context, and of course the triple passages. Okay, so I think that's what I can share a bit first. So if there are some questions or answers that are lingering, please feel free to share the questions. Okay, ya, question and answer boleh. Sesi tanya jawab. Jika ada pertanyaan, maka silahkan di-share di bagian pertanyaannya. Ya. Atau yang boleh tanya langsung juga silahkan. Yes, jika ada pertanyaan silahkan. Pak Rio Widiatmoko. Ya. jika tidak ada pertanyaan, terdengar.
Kalau belum ke SMK Negeri 57 Jakarta, silakan.
Ya.
57 tuh.
Silakan bertanya. Please kami ask questions.
Selamat siang, Pak.
Selamat siang. Selamat pagi, masih pagi. Good morning.
Pak, hasil dari TOEIC bisa di-sharing nggak sih, Pak? Ke email.
Oke, jadi ini berkaitan dengan teknis. Yang saya tahu bahwa hasilnya ini akan di-upload ke YouTube channel.
Channel YouTube-nya namanya
Nah, nanti channel YouTube-nya dari pihak Kemendikbud. Ya, nanti akan di-share tentunya dari pihak Kemendikbudnya akan di-share channel YouTube ini, berkaitan dengan materi hari ini. Ya. Oke.
Oke, Pak. Pak,
Oke,
selamat
itu.
siang.
Ya, selamat siang. Selamat siang.
Saya mau tanya
Ya. Ya.
itu untuk beasiswa berapa prosedurnya dan pencapaiannya berapa untuk beasiswanya?
Oke, thank you for the questions. Ini boleh tahu saya bicara dengan siapa tadi?
Saya Amrina Rosyada dari SMK 57.
Oke.
Kelas 12.
Amrina ya, Amrina ya, saudari Amrina. Oke. Untuk berkaitan dengan scholarship, memang yang mungkin ITC sebagai penyedia TOEIC di Indonesia bukan penyedia scholarship ya, Amrina. Nah, tapi yang kita sediakan adalah tesnya, betul? Nah, kalau untuk pertanyaan berkaitan dengan prosedur beasiswanya itu tentu akan sangat tergantung dari setiap provider beasiswa. Nah, misalnya kita bicara LPDP, misalnya. Oke, misalnya kita bicara LPDP, maka atau for example, Amrina tertarik untuk ke Korea, misalkan mengambil Korean Government Scholarship Program, tentunya yang Amrina cek adalah langsung ke website dari masing-masing scholarship provider, seperti itu. Jadi biasanya pengalaman saya untuk prosedur, tentunya ada beberapa prosedur pertama, misalnya seperti misalkan administrative prosedur, Amrina, misalnya kamu harus, you need to actually submit the administrative documents, mulai dari recommendation letter, surat rekomendasi, motivation letter, lalu ada beberapa referensi, mungkin kamu harus minta referensi dari gurumu, for example, dan sebagainya. Oke, itu beberapa saja yang biasanya. Tapi tentunya untuk prosedur, maka setiap scholarship provider memiliki prosedur yang mungkin berbeda. Tapi Pak, biasanya ada pola yang sama. Pertama adalah administratif itu ya tadi transkrip nilai, ijazah, lalu rekomendasi, surat rekomendasi, lalu surat referensi itu surat referensi misalkan dari 3 gurumu atau 2 gurumu dan sebagainya. Nah, yang saya bisa bicarakan adalah berkaitan dengan pencapaian nilai TOEIC-nya. Kalau kita lihat misalnya LPDP di sini, sekali lagi nilai yang kamu punya nanti itu kamu tidak perlu mengambil IELTS lagi. Jika kamu familiar dengan IELTS, kamu bisa mengambil TOEIC, lalu kamu lihat tergantung apa yang kamu mau ambil. For example, kebetulan masih SMK, tentunya kan tidak magister ya. Tapi kita kalau mengambil yang lain, misalnya contohnya kita ambil di Korean universities, ya, ini di Sejong University. Di sini kita lihat bahwa ada nilai TOEIC yang berbeda dengan yang sebelumnya. Di situ ada yang 700 dan satu lagi adalah 620 seperti itu. Nah, maka dari itu kalau kita bicara pencapaian nilai TOEIC itu sendiri, maka itu betul-betul tergantung, sekali lagi. Ini adalah tergantung dari scholarship provider. Jadi kamu tertariknya kemana? Nah, kamu tertariknya kemana? Kalau kamu tertarik untuk ngambil yang Fujitsu, dan kamu harus baca yang Fujitsu saja. Misalnya sekarang 750, berarti kamu harus mencapai nilai itu. Tapi 750 mungkin cukup tinggi, kamu tertarik ke Sejong University, maka lihat University Applications-nya di situ. Maka ITC sebagai penyedia tes, seperti itu, bukan penyedia scholarship-nya. Jadi apakah bisa dipahami?
Bisa, Pak. Saya mau bertanya lagi.
Ya.
Untuk yang sudah tes tahun lalu dan nilainya mencukupi untuk scholarship, apakah bisa mendaftar?
Nah, aja bisa. Oke, nah untuk berkaitan yang tesnya setahun yang lalu ya, betul?
Iya. Iya.
Maka dari itu untuk mendaftar apa? Kalau saya boleh tahu, mendaftar tes lagi.
Beasiswa mungkin untuk Korea atau Fujitsu yang tadi Bapak bilang.
Betul. Ingat bahwa seperti yang saya ucapkan tadi di awal bahwa TOEIC itu berlaku selama 2 tahun. The TOEIC test itu berlaku selama 2 years.
Oh, iya. Terima kasih Pak.
Validity-nya 2 years. Jadi make sure hati-hati. Dengan siapa saya bicara? Boleh?
Masih Amrina.
Amrina ya, masih Amrina. Oke. Hati-hati dengan tanggal tesnya. Jadi misalkan Amrina rencana, saya tahun depan misalnya. Hati-hati dengan tanggal tesnya tentunya. Kalau lewat 1 hari atau 2 hari saja mungkin harus tes lagi di tahun depan. Tapi karena Amrina mengatakan, saya tes tahun lalu, itu masih berlaku karena validnya adalah 2 tahun. Seperti itu. Oke. Ada lagi, Amrina? Mungkin ada yang lain.
Terima kasih banyak,
Terima kasih banyak, Pak.
Yes, thank you for the questions. Apakah ada dari Pak Rio Widiatmoko? Silakan. Atau mungkin hal-hal yang lain?
Selamat
pagi. Ya, selamat pagi ya. Dengan siapa saya bicara? Mungkin mikrofonnya bisa lebih dekat ya, karena agak sedikit kecil suaranya. Oke. Ya. Bagaimana caranya mendapatkan? Oke, soal tes ini tadi ya. Nah, pertama untuk boleh tahu namanya siapa tadi?
Namanya
Audi ya. Nah, untuk berkaitan dengan tes TOEIC yang tadi, maka pertama mungkin akses pertama yang Audi bisa dapatkan adalah ini. Sebentar, sini. Nah, kita nanti untuk secara general dulu, Audi bisa ke website yang sudah ditunjuk di situ, mungkin bisa difoto dan atau di Google saja Audi bisa tulis PTI TOEIC sample test misalnya. Terutama yang kedua ini sample test, examining handbook dan sample test seperti saya katakan tadi. Di sini ada sampel testnya dulu, seperti itu. Ya, oke. Nah, nanti dalam perkembangannya, kita akan belajar tentang workshop tentunya ya. Dan dalam perkembangannya maka kita akan sharing juga beberapa sampel test yang peserta workshop ini bisa kerjakan di rumah masing-masing atau kerjakan di sekolah mungkin. Jadi mungkin perlu bantuan dari Bapak Ibu guru untuk membimbing. Oh, ini ada tesnya, jadi saya bisa sharing juga seperti itu. Oke, tapi utama dulu adalah yang ini dulu, Audi. Oke, silakan. Ya, apakah jelas? Audi. Terima kasih. Ada lagi? Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi? Ada pertanyaan? pertanyaan lagi? Itu aja. Oke, baik. Kalau sudah, oke. Jika sudah, maka saya boleh tutup. Oke, thank you very much everyone for listening to the very first session of our workshop. Oke, itu betul-betul baru awal. Jadi baru beginning. Oke, that's totally just the beginning. But untuk para murid, para peserta didik, tentunya saya harapkan cukup jelas dulu. What I hope it's very clear first about what you need to understand from the patterns of the questions. Jadi today saya mau betul-betul menekankan pada ini, pertama yang ini, tentunya. Semuanya paham apa sih TOEIC test itu dan paham isinya. Lalu tidak hanya paham isi dan angkanya, tapi juga paham pertanyaannya seperti apa. Ada gambar, ada question response tadi, ada satu orang ngomong lalu ada 3 orang yang lain. Lalu ada dialog seperti ini. Yang pertama adalah dialog, 2 orang bicara. Lalu ada hanya satu orang yang bicara. The next thing is 3-person dialogues, ada 3 orang. Lalu ada integrative listening, hati-hati dengan yang ini, karena because this one is a bit more difficult than the others. And then we have sentence completion. I think this is like grammar and vocabulary. The same thing with this one. We have like sentence insertion. This is quite new in some sense. Okay. And then we have this single passage, everyone. Okay, we have this single passage, double passage, and triple passage. Maybe the new thing for those who who already took TOEIC test maybe last year or 2 years ago. Ini yang baru di situ. Kita punya yang namanya triple passage. Oke. Nah, itu saja untuk that's for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm Anderson. I'm closing this session. Thank you. I'll see you again next week. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Ya, sudah boleh.